Welcome back to another video by Chemical Engineering Life. If you are a chemical engineering student, you may have realized by now that chemical engineering is as tough as a nut. And if you are going to be starting chemical engineering as a student, then I can let you know that chemical engineering can be as tough as a nut. So in order to help you out, we are here to share top 5 tips for how you can achieve success in chemical engineering as a student. So do watch the video till the very end, and if you do like it, then remember to like, share, and subscribe to Chemical Engineering Life channel for more videos. Let's begin. The very first thing that you should do as a chemical engineering student is to stay organized. Chemical engineering problems can be beasts. They are multi-steps, layered, and full of opportunities to make tiny errors that completely derail your final answer. Therefore, whether you are solving a heat transfer problem or designing a reactor, staying organized is the main key. Now, by staying organized, there are 2 parts to it. The first part is that you need to stay organized in terms of your note taking. And the second part is that you need to stay organized when you are actually applying a solution to a problem. In terms of note keeping, consider keeping a dedicated notebook for each subject, or using apps like Notion or OneNote to structure your notes. This will allow you to keep all of your notes, all of your practice problems into one place, which you can then use when you are applying them to an actual problem. 90% of problems can be solved as long as you have your notes already in front of you. And at the same time, stay organized when you are solving the chemical engineering problems, because this means that you need to learn how to outline your steps before each calculation. You need to learn to label each variable and keeping units consistent throughout. And that tends to be the most common problem that people make when they're solving chemical engineering problems, is they forget to align the units with the formulas that they are working with. And additionally, for me personally, it has always helped me to write down all the information, conditions, and assumptions either at the beginning of each problem or on the side of the paper when I'm trying to solve the problems. Then it makes it a lot easier for you to comprehend and to be able to select what sort of equations or assumptions can be applied to the problem. And most importantly, like I said earlier, stay organized when you are solving the chemical engineering problems. And that is because when your thought process is clear on paper, it is always easier when you are solving a problem on paper, on MATLAB, on Maple, in Excel. Remember that as long as you are organized, it will also be a lot easier for you to find the mistakes. If it's a messy calculation, you will never be able to go back and spot the mistakes that you have made. Another tip is for you to seek help early. Regardless of what you may think, chemical engineering is not the kind of degree where you can just wing it till the night before the exam. If you're stuck on thermodynamics, on kinetics, or even just understanding what a fugacity coefficient is, do not wait until you are overwhelmed. And I cannot stress this out enough. Reach out as early as possible. You can do so by reaching out to your professor for help for questions. Bring a list of questions to your college tutor or to the professor. Reach out to your study mates, or maybe even start a thread in your class group chat. There's a very high likelihood that the problem that you're stuck on, there could also be other people that are stuck on the same problem. So by making the first step, you may even end up helping a bunch of other classmates as well. Sometimes, literally all it takes is hearing someone else explain it in a different way for the pieces to finally click together. And remember, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's actually a smart strategy for success. And you're not alone in this. You are in the same boat as the 50, 80, 100 other classmates. So do not shy away from raising your hand and asking a question when you're stuck. The tip number 3 is use the resources. Do not shy away from using all the resources that you have in your hand. Your textbook is just one tool in your toolbox. But luckily, it's not the only one. There is a treasure of content available specifically made to help you understand the trickiest topics in chemical engineering. And for once, you could be happy that you're living in this century because you can find multiple resources all over the internet. If you are struggling with mass balances, try to find some tutorials or playlists on YouTube. If you need some offline training, make use of online courses. If you are stuck in solving equations, make use of softwares like Maple, MATLAB, Python, Excel. And also, do not shy away from using tools like ChatGPT nowadays, where you can throw in this problem and it could give you some tips on how to solve it. Do remember that when you are using tools such as ChatGPT or even Wolfram Alpha that gives you the solutions, do not take the solutions at your first sight. Always try to spend time on learning on how to do the problem yourself first. If you are using ChatGPT, try to get tips on how you could solve it instead of asking for the straight solution. Quite frankly, by doing so, it works for a short term, but you never really end up learning how to solve those problems on your own unless you do them on your own. And finally, diversify your learning. Because sometimes hearing a concept explained in a different voice or visual format can also make all the difference that you need. And many of us have different preference for learning, right? Some people, they prefer to read, some people prefer to watch, some people prefer to listen. So depending on what you prefer, you can use that as your learning tool. Another tip is form study groups. Chemical engineering can feel isolating at times, but it doesn't have to be. One of the most effective ways to learn complex material is by talking it out. Study groups help you process information more deeply, challenge each other's assumptions, and fill in the gaps where your understanding may be weak. Therefore, teaching a concept to someone else, that's when you really know you understand it. But just make sure that the group is focused, set goals, stick to different topics, and maybe also assign each person a mini topic to teach to the rest. And you'll not only boost your understanding, but also build some solid friendships along the way, which is obviously huge when deadlines and lab reports start piling up. And finally, the tip that we have at the top is consistent practice. Let's face it, chemical engineering is not about memorizing facts. It's about solving problems. And the only way to get good repetition. Make problem solving a habit. Don't just skim through examples, do them and then redo them without looking at the solution. Work through old quizzes, quiz yourself, and set up small daily problems, even if it is just 20 or 30 minutes. Problem solving is kind of like learning to play an instrument. The more you practice, the better your brain becomes at recognizing patterns and applying the right formulas. So therefore, waiting till the night before or cramming this session in your schedule does not work here. And these were the top 5 tips that we feel are important for chemical engineers to achieve success. And at the end of the day, just know that chemical engineering is tough, but is also one of the most rewarding and impactful careers out there. If you stay organized, seek help, use your resources wisely, collaborate with others, and commit to consistent practice, you will be well on your way mastering this amazing field. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's just about being persistent. And if you're ever stuck, then feel free to visit our website at www.ChemEnggLife.com and read more about our initiatives. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Chemical Engineering Life channel for more videos.